Welcome into Delmarva Sports Insider. I'm Ryan Eldridge alongside Trayvon Miles, the local legend. We got Brandon Bossert standing by in the bullpen. We'll bring him in just a minute.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome into the only live and local 30-minute show devoted to all things high school sports. Ryan, week 6 already of high school football.
Raise the roof. The guys have been crunching away on the highlights all night, and we're going to begin tonight in Berlin. Two teams looking to get their first win in Bayside play in 2019. That would be the Bennett Clippers and the Stephen Decatur Seahawks. So it's going to be a close game, right?
Yeah, that's right. The Seahawks come in looking to break a 4-game losing streak. Bennett trying to get to 3-3 because next week they have North Carolina. And so that's really tough. So they're trying to get to 3-3 before next week. The Clippers would have the ball first in this game, and they would fail to convert a 4th and short in their own territory. The Seahawks capitalize. That's where we pick it up. Devin Waters getting the handoff. He makes the cut, finds the hole. 54-yard touchdown for Waters. Decatur looking good early, but Bennett with the response. Jordan Mitchell, really like this kid. He's got some bounce to him. That's a foot race to the end zone. Waters going to bring him down at the 1. That would lead to a Bennett score. Next drive, after a timeout for Bennett, Decatur in the red zone again. They had no answer for the run game. There's
all over
my
the
man
place.
Waters one more time. 26 at halftime. Credit to the defense, to Cameron McAfee, beating the tackles inside to blow that play up in the backfield. Bennett not able to get anything done all night. Decatur continuing to pour it on. Colby Higgins on the end around, 64 yards to the crib. Decatur runs over Bennett 42-6. They get their first Bayside win of the year.
A lot of the games I feel like we could have won that were close with stats but not close in score. It was a lot of, us just shooting ourselves in the foot, making our own mistakes. And I think today we, reduced those mistakes by a lot, of course. Didn't take ourselves back, so I think that's what really set the difference. And I think with this win behind us now, we can, say we had something good and we had, a game where we got everything together, all the pieces fit, and, we can just move forward and get better.
Looks like a grown man, speaks like a grown man, and they got a grown man win tonight. Yeah, Decatur looked really good at home against the Clippers, especially on the ground. The result a little unexpected.
Yeah, just off of what the footage showed us alone, what Decatur was able to do was quite impressive, especially the way they were able to get Bennett on the ground. As you said, Devin Waters, we knew he was a great player. He's a great running back. They've just been running up against some stiff competition. But he still seems to get his numbers week in and week out. Cameron McAfee, you can't really say enough about that kid. He's a baller. He's one of the biggest kids in the Bayside, one of the top college prospects. And I think you saw why tonight. It was a hard time for those tackles trying to block him tonight on Bennett's team. Give Decatur all the credit in the world tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say that they looked really good. And, they break that 4-game losing streak and finally put one in the win column, and I'm sure they're feeling good about it. Yeah,
definitely a big win with JMB being a 3A team.
Right.
These teams, if they see each other in the playoffs, that gave Decatur some great playoff points. You know how that goes. And Decatur playing Y-High next week. Bennett, of course, as we said, playing North Carolina. Things did not get any easier for those guys. But that Decatur and Y-High game already looking like it's going to be pretty good. But for more, that's not the only games we had tonight.
Yeah,
for more, we're going to toss it over to the bullpen. Hey, Brandon, what's up, man?
Yo, Trey, I'm out here in the bullpen. We got some more games. We're going to move over to Princess Anne now as Cambridge South Dorchester made the trip to take on Washington today. And surprisingly, the Jaguars would strike first. Xavion Hall hits Davin Phillips for a 7-yard score. And just like that, the Jags lead 6-0. But the lead would be very short-lived. 25 seconds later, Khalik Beasley takes the pitch, 63 yards for the score. We're going to speed that up real quick. And we're going to move on to the next Cambridge possession. It's Cameron Lake. He evades a few defenders, gets the corner, and dives into the end zone for another touchdown. And the CSD defense would settle in. Defensive lineman Ira Nichols had a monster game. He gets the tackle for the loss. And before the half, Vikings quarterback John Henry airing it out and finds Logan Middleton for a 25-yard score. Slow start for the Vikings, but they win big 55-12. And last night, Easton taking on Parkside. The Rams would get a pick against Easton on the opening drive and take advantage. Makai Smiley runs around making things happen, and he spins in for 6. Rams take the 7-0 lead. Next Easton drive, Ryan O'Connor floats it over the defender and finds Grant Copper in the back of the end zone to tie it up at 7. The tie would carry into the half. We move to the second half now. Rams would get going. Malachi Jones takes the handoff and powers in for the score. Parkside up 24-7 now, but Easton would not go away easily. O'Connor finds Copper again across the middle, and he would outrun the defense to the end zone to cut the lead to just 10. The onside kick would be unsuccessful. Next Parkside possession, Elijah Bivens pushes through the defense and powers in for 6. Parkside handles Easton 31-14.
You know, we got a nose for the ball. You know, nobody can just come here and play any way they want. We got to shut that down. We just got to keep a motor running all game, you know. We just got to have a nose to get to the football. We can't let nobody put their hands on us.
Key was really on the secondary. He was working on all week, our pass coverage and everything. And our rushing attack, Big Mike, Hernandez, Mazzetti, all of them, they did an excellent job. And Gator, too.
Now we have some more games to get to around the Bayside tonight. Trey, let's take a look at some more of those scores.
Thanks, Brandon. We got 3 more games to get to you. First of all, how about the North Carolina Bulldogs at home with a 29-point victory over Queen Anne's? Pretty good win for them, I would say. Snow Hill falls to 1-5 on the season. They cannot get past Nandua deep down in Virginia. And Kent County, how about Kent County at home against Colonel Richardson? This was big for the Trojans. They improve and get their second win of the year. Excuse me, their third win of the year. They're now 3-3, and that's a big win because Kent County and Colonel Richardson both 1A football teams.
Right, and you know, there's a lot of takeaways each week. We learn something new about every team, but I think there are some things that stand out. There are some teams that make maybe an extra impression, if you will. Who did that for you this week?
I would say Kent County. First of all, big win over Colonel at home.
Right.
As I said, you know, these wins, you have to get these wins no matter how good.
Definitely.
You know, no matter how good people say you are or you aren't, you got to get these victories. That's why you line them up. Also, didn't get to talk about it much yesterday, but Parkside, they put it on Easton. What's going on with Easton? 3 straight wins to start the season. 3 straight losses right now.
Right, their high-flying offense with O'Connor at quarterback. Parkside goes to 5-1 on the season. I was actually going to mention that. Big win, and their defense holds them to a couple of touchdowns on the day.
That's important.
I also want to mention about Bennett. It just looked like they were a little flat coming out to Decatur tonight. I don't know what happened, but at one point, Decatur was in the red zone. Bennett called for a timeout. They specifically wanted the D-line to get fired up when they were down there, and Bennett Decatur just ran in for an 8-yard score. I don't know what happened, but Decatur, great win out there tonight, 42-6.
Yeah, that's impressive. North Carolina continuing to cruise as well. They shut down Queen Anne's. All right, that's going to do it for our Maryland section, our A block. But when we come back, we're taking things to the 302. Dover and Smyrna and a Henlopen North clash. That and more when we return.
This is Ken John Wayne, North Carolina football, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.